Dot Solutions. Add-on Desire.
Hello viewers, welcome to Dot Solutions Daily Current Affairs. I'm Lokesh Penugunda. This session is designed for aspirants who are preparing for banking, groups and such the competitive examinations. We cover news articles from both the Hindu and the Indian Express. Make use of this session. Our first article is dealing with the Delhi riots. Last year, what we have witnessed are the Delhi riots, and later several student activists were charged under various sections of the law by the police establishments, and now 3 student activists were given bail by the Delhi High Court. And when giving the bail to these student activists, the Delhi High Court have stated that all terrorists are criminals, but not all criminals are terrorists. And it has also slammed the police establishments for casually invoking the anti-terror law. So, what is this anti-terror law the police establishment have invoked or used against these student protesters or the student activists? This law, which the High Court is referring to, is the Unlawful Activities Prevention Act of 1967. In the year 1967, the Parliament of the country has brought something called as Unlawful Activities Prevention Act. So, what are the unlawful activities? Unlawful activities that this law will penalize. First, whatever activities that are leading to, that are supporting secession in the country, all that activities will come under the unlawful activities. Next is whatever terrorist activities that happen in the country, even those acts will come under the unlawful acts. What is the provision which is provided by this Unlawful Activities Prohibition Act? This UAPA Act states that you can arrest and detain someone for 180 days without even submitting a charge sheet. So, let's say the police feel that there is person A, and if the police feels that this person is somehow involved to a riot, involved to a terrorist activity, then first the police will arrest this person, and within 180 days, that is till 6 months, they would be given time to even submit a charge sheet. And even within the 6 months, if the police fail to submit a charge sheet against this person, the police can still ask for extension of his arrest. So I understand that the police can use this act to arrest someone for a long time even without charge sheeting this person. And similarly, what we have witnessed is when we have the Delhi riots which took place in the February of 2020, several student activists were arrested under the Unlawful Activities Prevention Act. And from last 1.5 years, they've been in jails, and only now the High Court, after slamming the police establishments, are stating that you cannot invoke these stringent acts against protesters. It is stating that the right to protest is not as same as a terrorist activity, and the high courts are asking the police establishments all over the country and especially in the Delhi to not invoke these stringent Unlawful Activities Prevention Act and the sedition laws without proper cause. Next, we have an article where the Food Corporation of India has stated that it will submit nearly 78,000 tons of rice and other stocks for ethanol production. So, the central government has allocated 78,000 tons of commodities which the Food Corporation of India has for ethanol production. Further, ethanol production. First, we'll see about the Food Corporation of India. Next, we'll see about the ethanol production. First, the Food Corporation of India is a statutory body. That means this body was set up through an Act of Parliament. So, the Food Corporation of India set up in 1965 after the Parliament has passed the Food Corporation of India Act of 1964. What is the major activity the Food Corporation of India does? First is procuring of various commodities under the minimum support price. So, what is the procuring of various commodities. Last week, when we were witnessing the hike in the MSP, we have seen how the union government through various subsidiaries of the government will procure rice, will procure wheat and other 21 commodities from the farmers after giving them some fixed price for a particular quantity of this commodity. That is called as the minimum support price. It is the Food Corporation of India that procures these rice, wheat and other quantities, other commodities that are given in the MSP ideology. So it is the Food Corporation of India that will procure this. So the Food Corporation of India's officials will travel from one place to other place and they will procure these commodities from the farmers. Next, after they procure these commodities, they have to distribute it. Do they distribute these commodities directly to the people? The answer would be no. Rather, after procuring these commodities, they will store these commodities, and when the union government asks the Food Corporation of India to transfer some of these commodities to a state agency, or a government, it will do so. So the major activities of this FCI is procuring of food commodities and distribution of food commodities. Now we'll see why the union government is planning to transfer the 78,000 tons of stocks the FCI have in its godowns for ethanol production. In this month, we have seen how the union government has preponed the ethanol blending procedure targets for 2025. The union government initially planned to have ethanol blending of 20% by the year 2030. And this month, the union government has preponed this 20% ethanol blending target to 2025. That means, by the year 2025, if you are selling 1 liter of petrol, it should contain 20% of ethanol. That is what we mean by ethanol blending. We already seen how ethanol blending will help farmers, how it will help the environment, how it will help the economy, because if you are producing fuel on our own, we will not have to import fuel from other countries. So this is why ethanol blending is being promoted by the union government in a big way. So this is with respect to the Food Corporation of India and the 78,000 tons that are being shifted for ethanol production in the country. Next, we have an article where the Hindu newspaper has scored the highest when it comes to responsible suicide reporting. There was a study titled as the application of a scorecard tool for assessing and engaging media on responsible reporting on suicide related news. So there was a study titled this, and this study has seen and looked into the newspapers and media reports which are providing data regarding the suicides, and it has given various rankings and various score to newspapers based on the responsible suicide reporting. And according to this report, it is the Hindu newspaper that has scored the highest, and later we have the Indian Express and Mirror that are coming in the second and the third position. This is regarding the title of this report. Now we will see who has released this report. This is conducted, that is, this study is conducted by the Department of Psychiatry. First we have the Department of Psychiatry, next we have the Voluntary Health Services and the Sneha Suicide Prevention Center. And apart from the Department of Psychiatry, the Sneha Suicide Prevention Center, the Voluntary Health Services, we have many other organizations that are given in this article that have conducted jointly this study. So what you have to remember is the study title name and the Hindu which has got the first ranking in this index or the study. Next we have an article where the United States government has moved a proposal to tackle the domestic terrorism. This year what we have witnessed is when the President of the United States, Mr. Trump, that is, he is the ex-president of the United States, when he has lost an election and Mr. Biden has won the election, the supporters of Mr. Trump and the white nationalists living in the United States have attacked the US Congress. US Congress is nothing but the United States Parliament. So, to prevent such happenings in future, the United States has come out with a national strategy to fight domestic terrorism. So this is the country which has brought this national strategy to fight the domestic terrorism, and according to it, it will focus on prevention, interruption and dissuasion of terrorist activities that might take place in the country of United States. Next we have an article which is dealing with a Somalia suicide attack. So we have the country of Somalia, you can see in this image, which is a East African country, and its capital is Mogadishu. And in the Somalia country, there is a suicide attack which has targeted new army camp, and it has led to the death of 10 soldiers and 5 civilians in the country of Somalia. So what you need to understand from this article is Somalia is an East African country opening into the Indian Ocean, and it has the capital of Mogadishu. Next we have an article where the United Arab Emirates backed forces are stationing their troops in the newly constructed air base near the Yemen. So you can see in this image that there is an island named as Perim. The island is named as Perim. This island is also called as Mayun Island. This island is also called as Mayun Island, and the United Arab Emirates backed forces have constructed a air base in this island which is near to the mainland Yemen. So why is the UAE supporting the air base construction near the Yemen island of Perim? We have seen the Houthi forces. So we have seen the Houthi rebel forces that are mainly living in the Yemen, and they have attacked the government establishment of Yemen, and after overrunning the Yemen government forces, they have occupied large parts of Yemen's western territories. And to attack these Houthi rebels, the UAE and the Saudi Arabia has formed a coalition with the Yemen government. So on the one hand, we have Yemen government which is being supported by the Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates, whereas on the other hand we have the rebels who are called as the Houthis, and these Houthi rebels are being supported by the Iran, which is also a Shia based country. So to fight these rebels, the UAE is supporting the government forces and its own forces to start a airbase at Perim. So you need to understand that Perim or the Mayun Island is an island of Yemen. It is near the Bab el Mandeb Strait. So in the next image you can understand the significance. So you can see in this image where Bab el Mandeb Strait is. So if you have a airbase constructed here, you can protect all the ships, and you can even attack the ships which are passing through the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden. So there is a strategic point called as the Bab el Mandeb Strait where the UAE is supporting the construction of a new air base. Next we have an article which is talking about a leak in the Taishan nuclear plant. So there is a nuclear power plant called as Taishan nuclear power plant, and there is a suspected leak from this power plant. You should know that this Taishan nuclear power plant is in the country of China. So this is just with this article. Next we have an article where the United States and European Union has finally signed a truce regarding their 17-year-old dispute regarding the Airbus and Boeing subsidies. So we'll see what is the problem. Let's say there is a person M. This person wants to buy an aeroplane with 100 rupees, and there are two companies called as Airbus and Boeing. Airbus is a European Union based manufacturing company, whereas Boeing is a United States based manufacturing company of planes. And now let's assume that Airbus is making a plane and this plane will cost 120 rupees. And let's assume that Boeing also makes a plane, but Boeing makes this plane just with the cost, but it sells at 105 rupees. So if person M wants to buy a plane, he might technically go and buy a flight from the Boeing, which is costing him less. But what the European Union based Airbus might do is, it might go and ask the government to provide subsidy. What is the subsidy? Subsidy is like a benefit the government will give to its companies, to its country's companies and people. And let's assume that the European Union is providing the Airbus 20 rupees subsidy. Then what would happen is the cost of the plane will be just 100 rupees, because 20 rupees will be provided by the government, so the rest 100 rupees will be taken from a customer. So what the person M will do is, he will not go to Boeing, but rather he'll go to Airbus and buy the plane. So what would happen? Even though Boeing is selling a plane at a cost of 105 rupees, still it could not sell this plane, because the Airbus is unfairly getting competitiveness because of the subsidies provided by the European Union governments. So this is a conflict. Airbus is stating that Boeing, which is a US based company, is getting huge subsidies from its own government. Similarly, Boeing is stating that Airbus is getting huge subsidies from the European based governments. This is a dispute, and this was a dispute from the last 17 years. And finally, they got a truce regarding this dispute. Next, we have an article where Miss Amika George is honored as a member of the Order of the British Empire. So she got the Member of the British Empire award. So we'll see what is her contribution to get this award. She received this award for her campaign regarding the free menstrual products. She has started a non-governmental organization called as Free Periods. So Free Periods is the organization started by Miss Amika George. This organization is to persuade the United Kingdom government to pay for the menstrual products which are needed for the students going to the schools and colleges in the United Kingdom. And based on these efforts, the United Kingdom has finally announced special funds to every school and college for period products for all students. So, on the basis of her fight against the government to get menstrual products at free of charge or at lower cost, the government has finally come down. And for this, Miss Amika George is given the MBE award. Next, we have an article where there is a mention of the General Data Protection Regulation. The General Data Protection Regulation. What is this act? This is a Digital Protection Act made by the European Union. In India, we have seen how the Indian government is planning to bring in an act so as to protect the privacy and rights of customers of India. Similarly, even the European Union has brought the General Data Protection Act. This is to protect the data of European Unions who are using various social media platforms and other platforms. And this act provides for various important provisions. First is, individuals will also have the right to have personal data deleted. Let's assume that there is a person A. This person may be a social media user and he may be using the Facebook. Facebook might collect some data regarding him. Later, if the person wants, he can ask the Facebook to delete the details the Facebook has taken regarding his account. So this is one important right that General Data Protection Regulation is providing the European citizens. Whereas in India, a person cannot go and ask the Facebook to delete some content, some data which the Facebook might have taken or might have got on the basis of analyzing his social media account. Next, Under the General Data Protection Act, data breaches have to be reported within 72 hours, and failure to comply with several new laws could result in a fine of 4% of the global turnover or a maximum fine of 20 million European dollars. What is this proposal talking about? From last few years, what we have been witnessing is loss of data. So we have many applications. It may be food delivery apps, it may be social media platforms, it may be any other applications we use on the internet, and these internet based applications might collect so much data from you. It might collect the data regarding your age, it might get your phone contact details, it might get your bank account details, or even personal related medical information. And sometimes the apps which are taking or collecting this information might lose this data due to cyber hacks or due to some other issues, and these apps generally does not tell out regarding this loss of data, because if these applications tell people that the data is lost, the people might not use this app again, and they might lose the data on the basis of the companies, inaptitude, or on the basis of companies' ineligibility to certain extent. And now this General Data Protection Act is stating that you have to protect the data of your users, and if you don't protect the data and if you don't comply with the rules according to the General Data Protection Act, then we might charge you a heavy penalty. So this bill or this act will provide for more privacy, will provide for protection of your data. So this is relating to the European Union. Next we have an article which is talking about the National Science Day. We'll just see on which day this National Science Day is observed. Every year on February 28th, we observe the National Science Day, and this year's theme, the theme for the National Science Day is Future of the STI, the Science, Technology and Innovation, Impacts on the Education, Skills and the Work. So how would the science, technology and innovation impact your education, skills and work? Last year's theme of the National Science Day is Women and Science. Women and Science. You should remember this year's theme alone in general. Next we have an article where the new Prime Minister of Israel has taken his oath. We'll see what is the new Prime Minister of Israel name. You can see in this image the old Prime Minister of Israel, who is Mr. Netanyahu. After being in power for 12 years, he has to resign, and a new government led by Mr. Naftali has come into power. So in the image you can see the new Prime Minister of the Israel, Mr. Benedict Naftali. And with this we have come to the end of this session. Inform about ADOTS initiative to your other aspirant friends. Thank you for watching.
Add-on solutions. Add-on desires. Add-on solutions. Add-on desires.